What's up, people? Nature Girl 30 here, and this is another mini Q&A after Thanksgiving. Well, way after Thanksgiving. We're actually right around the corner when it comes to Christmas. It's so hard to believe that Christmas is right around the corner. I might do another video on the best of 2014 if there is one. Probably best and worst. And I might either do a wrestling related or pop culture related. I don't know. It's just something in the making, and I'm just spitting out my ideas right now. But honestly, guys, it's not about ideas. It's about Q&As, and you guys have questions that you want to have answered. I don't have any Twitter questions right now, but I do have a question that was sent to me by Final Limits on Facebook. And it was pretty much about my thoughts on the fat kid going nuts about the Call of Duty Modern Warfare game. Honestly, he would have been kicked out of my house within like a split second. I wouldn't have hesitated, can't even talk. I wouldn't have hesitated to actually turn the game off. He would have been out of my house probably within maybe 10 minutes because I would have had to have some help pushing him out the door. And I'm not saying that because of the fact that he's fat. It's just because he's probably a strong dude. So he would have been kicked out of my house, not been invited back, and the game would have been off. Period. That's just me personally. But great video. Well, not really a great video. It's more sad than anything else. But if you guys really do want to see it, I will try to at least leave. I'll try to leave a description of it in the description box for those that actually want to watch it. But let's move on. Running nose. Let's move on to Nintendo Fanboy 1988 on my YouTube page. Do you think Ariana Grande is a diva? Someone in the comments said she refused to take a picture with a fan because the fan told her that she could not afford it. She could not afford to buy her album, so you just ignore her and wish death upon her fans. I'm gonna be real with you. For those that actually do say that something did happen, unless they were there and they actually got a recording of what she said, or pictures, or some kind of evidence that said that she actually did say it, then it's just hearsay. Seriously. And you can't bring up Randy Orton because Randy Orton was dumb enough to put it on his Twitter page. So we saw it all. And we even saw the posting. So there you go. That's facts right in your face. We have no facts of what she said. So technically, we really don't have an opinion about it. So if about me thinking that she's a diva, I don't know because I don't know her. But I'll move on to your other questions. What are your thoughts on her music? Do you think it's annoying? I don't think her music is annoying, but I will say that she needs subtitles in order for you to understand what she's saying. I can understand her better as Cat than I can understand any music she's ever made. And it's not so much an insult to her, so she has to learn how to enunciate a lot better than what she's been doing. But your next question for me is, she's dating Big Sean. Do you think that's why she's a diva? Because she's dating that thug. Okay, and I'm going to tie this into the next question that you have. Is what are your thoughts on him? Well, you didn't say him, you said something else. But either or, here's my thoughts on this overall. I don't know if she's a diva, and I'm not going to say she's a diva because of him. And as for Big Sean, I'm not going to say Big Sean's a thug because Big Sean was on Fashion Police. Do you see thugs on Fashion Police? No, and don't you dare say P. Diddy, because P. Diddy does not count at all as a thug. He may be a hustler, but he ain't no thug. Seriously. Tupac was more of a thug than P. Diddy. But it's not about them. It's about Big Sean. Big Sean definitely is not, because number one, he was on Fashion Police. Number two, he knows the dimensions of a woman that will make a woman look more. He's actually trying to make clothes for the modern woman. He's actually paying attention to detail when it comes to certain women, the different types of curves, the different types of body types, what works, what don't. He's way too much into detail. I don't think thugs are really into that much detail, especially about trying to make women's clothes. I don't think that that's the case for him. I really think that he's very smart. I think that it's something that he wants to do. I think he has a good head on his shoulders. And that's what I think. That's what I see on television. I don't know the guy, but that's what I'm seeing. I don't think of him as a thug, but I think whatever Ari was, that's how Ari is. Simply. If she is a diva, she was a diva before she got famous. And she was on Victorious way before Sammy Cat and way before her recording career. So honestly, if she was a diva then she's a diva now. But I don't really know. But that's my thoughts on it. Your next question for me is, do you think Ari looks underage? I wouldn't call her a tramp, and yes, she is 21, like you told me. I just had no idea till now. But I don't think she's a tramp. I will say that she does look very young, extremely young. She's a lot younger than AJ Lee. I mean, honestly, not so much that. I mean, AJ Lee is pretty much in her, she's in her, maybe in her mid-20s, but she looks like she's pretty much pushing 30, but she looks like that she's just turned 20. While Ariana looks like she's 14, but she's 21. It's because she's shorter, she's smaller, she's thinner, and has a light voice. So she's going to look like she's 12 or 14. And it's because of her shape and her frame and pretty much how she carries herself. So, yeah, I'm not going to call her a tramp, but yes, she does look young. My next set of questions comes from Lino Gino. What if the Miz was around in the golden era? Is that what you call it in the 80s? Yes, that's what I would call the golden era. The Miz is only 2 years younger than me, so he would be about 4 years old during the whole peak of the golden era. And in 88, when it was just about to hit, like when it was hitting hard, he would have been 6. So he would have been a little boy, and he would have been known as Mike. Do you have the Wrestling Revolution or the Wrestling Revolution 3D on Android or iPad? No, I do not. I don't have an iPad, and I don't have it on my tablet, and my tablet is an Android. What mobile games do you have, if you have any? I don't have a lot of mobile games because I have a Windows phone, so you don't really have a lot of cool apps on Windows. You have some efficient ones, but game-wise, you get them more on Android or on your Apple App Store. You have them more on the iPhones and Androids than you would on Windows. So unfortunately, I'm left out of that. But on my Android tablet, I have a ton of games. I have pretty much from every King.com game known to man, from both Candy Crushes, the original, as well as Candy Soda Crush or Candy Crush Soda Saga. I also have Papa Pear. I got Bubble Witch 2. Not Bubble Witch, but I actually got Bubble Witch 2. I got Papa Pear. I got Farm Heroes. And I got both Candy Crushes. So yeah, I got all that. Then I also got Sonic Dash on my tablet, and I also got Crazy Taxi, which also has the Crazy Taxi that actually came from the Dreamcast game, not like the one that you see on Facebook. The actual game that came from Dreamcast that has actual Hulk Hogan on there, with Hulk Hogan's face, in other words. During his whole spin that he had on the WWE, he was actually on there. But yeah, I have a ton of games. Plus, I have pretty much I have the original Angry Birds and Angry Birds Star Wars 1 and 2. So yeah, I got a whole lot of games on my tablet that I play with a lot, and it's ridiculous. But on here, I actually do have a few games on my phone. I do have Tetris, and it's a Tetris 30th anniversary edition, and I think I just got Crazy Birds. I just got Angry Birds Rio. But those are the only 2 games that I have. I don't think I have anything else on my phone. I just have those 2 because those are the ones I pretty much want to play with. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have. When are you getting a next gen system? When they actually come out with a gaming system with a game that is exclusive to the system that I might consider buying. Because everything is pretty much on the Xbox 360, so why spend $349 or maybe $360 plus tax on another gaming system? And that is actually without the Kinect. If I have a decent gaming system now, that every game comes out. Everybody says, "Oh yeah, you don't get it in HD." And yes, it is like 720, whatever. It's in 720, whatever format that is. I don't know. I'm not that big of a nerd, but I will say, when it comes to tech, in other words, but I will say. And it's still really pretty. I really do like it. The fact that I can buy any game that I want because they're still making it and it's cheaper to do so, I'd rather do it that way. But I am considering on buying one next year. I am considering on getting an Xbox One for 2 games. Mortal Kombat X and Halo 5. That's it. That's the only reason why I would buy Xbox One. Plus, I still have my Xbox Live account, so I might as well take advantage of it before it expires next year. But yeah, that's the only reason why I would pretty much buy an Xbox One. I like Xbox. Sorry, I'm a Microsoft chick. I'm not dissing on anybody that has PlayStation, but yeah, I might. Who knows if PlayStation 4 comes out with a pretty awesome game, I might buy that instead. I don't know, but right now I'm probably gonna wait till next year. But yeah, great question, man. Um, who do you like receiving questions from the most out of all the people? I like everybody because they all have an interesting twist on what questions that they will ask. It's not all wrestling related. Some is pop culture related. Some is about me. Some is about wrestling, of course, or some is about Mortal Kombat or video games. Everybody has an interesting spin on every question that they send me. They're quite creative. I love the creative questions. I love it, love it, love it, love it. But I don't really necessarily have a favorite. I will say that everybody always knows exactly what to ask. And I'm not saying that you have a right question to ask, but it's always unique. And even the ones that actually send the hating questions or the questions that are racist, I will say that there are times that it doesn't sound as bad, and they're the ones that surprise me the most. So I will say this. There are times that I really gotten fed up with answering any question from Lion Low, but I will say that lately his questions have been sincere, which is something I never expected. So I will say that he is actually the one that is kind of, did a whole 180 for me. But as for favorites, I don't really have one. You guys are all cool in my book. And of course, Final Limits will always be my biggest supporter. Shout out to Final Limits. But let's move on to the next set of questions. From, of course, where was I? I actually was everywhere. Oh yeah, next question is from Lion Low, of course. Why is the cop getting all the blame for killing Michael Brown? I don't really know anything about Michael Brown or Eric Garner. I just don't know. I don't really watch the news that often when it comes about that because lately the media has been all about shock value, not information. So I've kind of stayed my distance from it. So I really don't know. Can't answer the question. But you will get credit for it since I kind of acknowledge it. The next set of questions comes from I Love Watermelons 525. What did you think of Zack Ryder when he was a part of the tag team of Hawkins and Ryder? Back when he had long hair. I hate to say it, but that was probably one of the highest moments in his wrestling career. I hate to say it, but it's true. He was really, really good when he was with a tag team. He was still a good single, but he just wasn't that noticed. Not until his whole internet boom. That's the only time he got noticed. But, yeah, I hate to say it. Why didn't WWE fully push Zack Ryder in 2011 and 2012 when he was hot with the audience? Honestly, the WWE did not get into social media until after the Summer of Punk. When the Summer of Punk came around was when the WWE finally took focus on... Actually, I take that back. It was before the Summer of Punk. I have to say that when Zack Ryder was at his peak, when his channel was watched by a lot of fans, that was when they started taking notice towards YouTube, but it didn't really come to fruition until after Summer of Punk. So, but either or, I will say that they probably didn't take his gimmick seriously. They probably thought it was just a ridiculous bunch of hooey and way too cartoony. Which it is, but it's still fun. And I really wish they actually did listen to the fans and pushed him. They should have. It would have made everybody happy, especially it being in his hometown of Long Island. If you could rebuild Zack Ryder's push, how would you push him this time around? Honestly, he would have kept his gimmick. His gimmick is what made him notice. His gimmick was what made him interesting, and that's what people loved about him. Not to mention that his whole YouTube channel is what got him the push in the first place. It got him over. It wasn't anything WWE did. He got himself over with his YouTube channel. So I would have left it alone. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's just me, in my opinion. What do you think of his theme song? It fits him. It really, really does. It fits his overall character and it's fun, and I love it. What do you like about him? His whole gimmick. His gimmick was cool. It was interesting. It was fun. It was entertaining. Even the feud that he had, I think his struggle for him actually getting a championship was the one thing that I liked, and the fact that he finally grabbed that brass ring. But his overall gimmick was fun, and that's the one thing that the WWE is missing right now. Fun. And I hope that one day they bring it back. It's way too serious now. My next set of questions comes from Shoro Ro Ro Hi Yor Yor. or Haryoyor. I hope I said it right. What if Damian Sandow was a stunt double for Tito Ortiz? That wouldn't happen because Tito Ortiz probably would have punched him in the mouth. I don't think that Tito Ortiz. There's times he can joke around, but I really don't think that he would be able to take it seriously. He would probably consider Damian more mocking him than anything else. He'd probably get punched in the mouth. That's just me in my opinion. And my final set of questions comes from Regional D Huff. What face paint do you like most from Jeff Hardy? I like his face paint during the days of the Hardy Boys. That's when it was his most creative, and that's when he was his most interesting. I don't like the TNA face paint. I just didn't. I'm sorry. It reminded me too much of Bleach. And as much as I love Bleach at the time, Bleach kind of overstayed its welcome. So that's why I didn't necessarily like during the whole TNA days. So I will say during the whole Hardy Boy days. What do you think was Jeff's best moments in TNA and WWE? TNA, I really can't say he had a best moment because he's already reached the brass ring of WWE. I think the biggest moment of Jeff Hardy's career, two big moments. Number one, his big moment was when he finally got props from Taker. When he got props from The Undertaker, that means he arrived. He arrived, he was on his way up. And his best moment, of course, was when he got the WWF title or WWE title at Armageddon. That was his best moment in his career. TNA was just like this for me. Like, yes, sure, he was a champion and whatever, but he's already reached the brass ring in my eyes. But for those that have not seen him and don't know anything about WWE and was always a TNA fans, then they don't know anything about Jeff Hardy. They'll probably say, oh, yeah, when Jeff was champion. But I've already seen him reach the brass ring at WWE. It was like this for me the whole time. So I really can't say he had a best moment because he was already up when he got there. So I can't really say that. That's just me. What do you think of his departure in the WWE in fall of 2009? It was something I did not expect. It was something I did not see coming because I didn't know about his whole drug abuse, his drug issues, and I did not know about his terrible. I knew about his bad injuries. I knew about his injuries that he had in his body that needed to be healed, but I didn't know about the whole drug abuse or drug use until he left. So after hearing about that, it was something that had to be done. It was something that was expected. And it really wasn't, heartbreaking for me. It was sad that he was gone, but then in a way, I kind of understood. Has Jeff got his life under control, or is he still addicted to pills? I don't know. I know that, if he is still going through his whole drug problem, the only thing I could possibly say for him is I just pray for his recovery. And that's all we can pretty much do. I have no idea what he's going through right now. And it may seem like he has all together in front of the screen, but he might not behind the scenes. So all I can do is just pray for his recovery. And that's just what I'll do about that. And the final question that you have for me is, what did you think of CM Punk's shoot interview on Colt Cabana's podcast where he exposed WWE and Ryback? I will say this, everything kind of added up because more than one individual has said what CM Punk said. I would have thought the whole thing was a farce if you didn't have more than one person pointing that out. You had Stone Cold pointing that out on his podcast. You've had several other WWE stars that had left or got fired unknowingly that said on their podcast that pretty much the same thing that Punk said. So in the end, everything just kind of added up. It all kind of stacked together and it makes sense. As for Ryback to me and I hate to say this, he kind of does remind me of Goldberg. Kind of does, because when he first came on the scene, all he did was beat up small guys. And in a way, I don't know whether or not they were mocking WCW for that reason, because that's what Goldberg did back in the day, or that's all Ryback could do because Ryback lacked the stamina. But in the end, I wouldn't be surprised he would be reckless because the dude is so huge and it seemed like he really did not know much about wrestling. He probably knows a lot more now, but back then in his debut or when he was around Punk, I wouldn't be surprised he was a novice. So it wouldn't surprise me at all. Besides, you have vets messing up all the time, hence Randy Orton. But guys, thank you so much for sending me questions. If you have any more questions for me, by all means, send them to me via YouTube or on Twitter at RKH30, #NatureGirlQ&A. It's NatureGirl30 signing off. Peace out, y'all. Later.